It was a sweltering summer day when Maria first spotted the black kitten slinking along the bricks of the greenhouse walls. Scrawny and scrappy with patchy fur, the tiny creature looked more pitiful than ominous. But Maria's friend Rhiannon recoiled at the sight of it. A black cat? Really, Maria? You know those things are bad luck. Rhiannon shook her head disapprovingly. Maria rolled her eyes. Oh, please, you don't actually believe that nonsense, do you? She's just a poor little kitten. Look how skinny and hungry she is. I'm telling you, no good will come from messing with a black cat. Mark my words. Rhiannon wagged a warning finger before hastily retreating from the greenhouse, leaving Maria alone with the mysterious feline. Undeterred, Maria cautiously approached the kitten, speaking to it in a soothing voice. Hi there, little one. Are you lost? You poor thing, you look like you could use a good meal and a warm place to sleep. She reached a tentative hand out, but the kitten shied away, green eyes glinting warily. Maria spotted a small bowl and had an idea. She filled it with cool water from the hose and placed it near the hydrangeas where the kitten lurked. After a few tense minutes of Maria pretending to busy herself with the plants, the kitten finally crept over to the bowl. It hesitated, nose and whiskers twitching as it investigated the offering. Seemingly deciding it was safe, the tiny creature began lapping eagerly at the water, obviously parched. Maria's heart melted at the sight. Ignoring Rhiannon's dire warnings, she felt her mind firmly set on helping this unlucky little soul. Superstitions be damned. That settled it, she was taking this kitten home. Her mom would certainly protest at first, but Maria had a feeling that once the kitten had a name, she would come around. Eyeing the sleek ebony fur, a perfect moniker popped into her head. Mallory, Maria said decisively. Your name is Mallory. At the sound of her new name, the newly christened Mallory paused from drinking and looked up at Maria. For a moment, girl and kitten appraised each other, one with hopeful brown eyes, the other with glowing green orbs. Then, Mallory let out a tiny mew, as if confirming her approval of the name. Grinning, Maria scooped up the kitten, cradling the fragile body against her chest. She felt the tiny heartbeat fluttering against her own. Don't you worry, Mal. I've got you now. Let's get you checked out and fattened up. I have a feeling you and I are going to be great friends, no matter what anyone else says about black cats. Mallory simply purred in response, nuzzling into the warmth of Maria's embrace. In that moment, an unbreakable bond was forged, one that would soon be put to the ultimate test. As Maria had predicted, her mother Gloria was less than thrilled when her daughter came traipsing into the house with a mangy black kitten in tow. Maria, what on earth? We are not taking in some stray cat, especially not a black one. Gloria placed her hands on her hips sternly. But Mom, just look at her. She was all alone and starving. I couldn't just leave her there. And her name is Mallory. Maria held the kitten up, putting on her best pleading expression. Hearing her name, Mallory let out a plaintive meow, as if understanding the crucial role she played in this appeal. She blinked her emerald eyes at Gloria. With a heavy sigh, Gloria's stance softened slightly as she took in the pathetic scrap of fur. I suppose she is rather cute. Fine, Mallory can stay. Maria barely had time to whoop with joy before Gloria cut her off. On a temporary basis, at least until we get her checked by the vet and find her a proper home. I mean it, Maria, we are not keeping a black cat. I don't care how adorable you think she is. It's asking for trouble. Yes, Mom, I understand. Thank you. Maria quickly agreed, knowing that once Mallory had time to work her charms, her mom would change her mind. But in the days and weeks that followed, Maria started to wonder if her mom and Rhiannon had been right about black cats after all. It seemed like everywhere Mallory went, mayhem and misfortune followed. Then the incident where she snagged and unraveled Maria's mom's prized yarn in a tangled disaster. Potted plants were toppled, glasses shattered, and Mallory even managed to get trapped in the chimney once, covering everything in soot when she frantically scrambled out. I told you, Maria. Rhiannon crowed triumphantly when she heard about Mallory's chaotic antics. Black cats are harbingers of bad luck. You should have listened to me. Even Gloria was at her wits' end. That cat needs to go. She's a walking disaster. Maria refused to give up on her furry friend. Mallory's not bad luck. She's just a kitten. They all get into mischief like this. She doesn't mean any harm. But privately, Maria was starting to worry. What if the superstitions were true? Was keeping Mallory around putting her family at risk of ruin and misery? She tossed and turned at night, plagued by doubt. Even Mallory seemed to sense the tension. The formerly vivacious kitten turned listless, moping about the house. Her green eyes dulled and she picked at her food. "Oh, Mal, I'm so sorry. I don't think you're bad luck at all. We've just hit a rough patch is all. I still love you no matter what." She headbutted Maria affectionately before jumping down to curl up on the couch, closing her eyes. Maria watched the cat drift off while an uneasy thought settled in her mind. What if it wasn't that Mallory conjured misfortune, but absorbed it, acting as a magnet for any bad luck around her? What if by staying with Maria and her family, Mal was actually protecting them somehow, taking on all the negative energy herself? The idea sounded crazy, but was it really any more far-fetched than Mallory being an omen of evil? Maria shook her head ruefully. Well, whether supernatural or not, Mal had already claimed a permanent place in Maria's heart. She would find a way to make this work, to show everyone the sweet, special soul she knew her kitten to be. The opportunity to prove Mallory's worth came even sooner than Maria expected, and in a way she never could have anticipated. 2 days later, Maria was in the kitchen fixing Mallory's dinner when an acrid smell hit her nose. Smoke. Spinning around, Maria spotted tendrils of black smoke rising from near the stove. Mallory paced in front of the oven, fur puffed out and tail twitching furiously. With rising panic, Maria realized the smoke was coming from the circuit panel. It was an electrical fire. "Mom! Rowan! Get out of the house now!" Maria screamed, heart pounding out of her chest. The smoke was quickly filling the room, making it hard to breathe or see. On the edge of her vision, Maria saw the rest of her family rushing out the front door to safety. She moved to follow, but a desperate yowl pierced the air, cutting through the din of the fire alarm and crackling flames. "Mallory!" Through the thickening haze, Maria made out the small outline of the black kitten crouched in the corner of the kitchen. Mal was trapped, fear rooting her in place even as the hungry flames advanced. Without a second thought for her own safety, Maria plunged back into the burning kitchen. The heat was unbearable, scorching her skin and singeing her hair, but all Maria could focus on was reaching Mallory. "I've got you," Maria coughed out, scooping the trembling kitten into her arms. She clutched Mallory to her chest as she staggered towards the exit, praying they would make it out. Moments later, Maria burst out of the house, gasping and choking on the fresh air. Still cradling Mallory, she collapsed onto the lawn next to the rest of her family, who were staring at the burning building in shock. "Oh, thank goodness. Are you all right?" Gloria cried, rushing over to help her daughter up. Then she spotted the soot-covered kitten quivering in Maria's arms and her eyes widened. You ran back in there for Mallory?" Her voice was filled with disbelief and worry. Maria nodded, gently running a hand over Mallory's singed fur to comfort her. "I had to, Mom. I couldn't leave her behind. She's family too, and we always protect family." Rowan, who had been frantically dialing 911, hung up and turned to Maria with solemn eyes. "The fire department is on their way. They said it sounded like an electrical short started the fire." He paused, eyebrows furrowing. "If Mal hadn't been in the kitchen and alerted us so quickly with her yowling, it could have been a lot worse," Gloria finished, new understanding dawning in her expression as she gazed at the black kitten. "Mallory was trying to warn us. She saved us. All this time they'd been so worried the cat would bring disaster, when in fact she had sensed the true danger and risked her own life to protect theirs. You really are our lucky charm, aren't you?" Mallory let out a contented purr, safe in the arms of her saviors. From that day forward, Mallory was a fully embraced member of the family. She had proven once and for all that she was no bad omen, but a true guardian, the hero of the house. Even Rhiannon came around after hearing how the brave little black kitten had averted catastrophe. I guess I was wrong about Mal. That cat is something special. Maybe we've been looking at black cats the wrong way all along." Maria simply smiled, giving Mallory a loving scratch under the chin. She had known all along that her Mal was one of a kind. Not a bringer of misfortune, but a faithful friend and protector, absorbing any bad luck that came their way. No longer plagued by doubt or worry, she knew as long as she had her lucky black cat, they could overcome any misfortune. Together, they would make their own good luck. And as for Mallory herself, gazing at her beloved humans with warm emerald eyes, the little black kitten knew she had found her true purpose, her place in the world at last, a member of this family, bonded by love and trust, on a lifelong mission to keep them safe and happy, come what may. Mallory realized now that perhaps this had been her role all along. Not an omen, but a secret safeguard, a misunderstood guardian angel working from the shadows. Purring deeply, Mallory curled up in Maria's lap, relishing the girl's soft touches and cooing praise. She was finally home, her search for belonging complete. A very good kitty indeed. With a sleepy mew, the content kitten closed her eyes, happily settling into this new life. No more a bringer of misfortune, Mallory now knew she'd had the power all along to forge her own fate, to create her own luck, and to find her perfect place in the world, black cat and all.